John Blackwell is gone into the transfer portal. And my initial thoughts on it are hate the game, don't hate the player. Throw it scary over as a like and a subscription. I always appreciate it. There probably aren't a lot of fans who appreciate and like John Blackwell as much as I did during his 3 years at Wisconsin. He was one of the first athletes to appear on this very podcast back in 2023, when he and Nolan Winter and Gus Yeldon jumped on. I didn't have approval from the athletic department at the time, so it was kind of a foray into the unknown. Which I learned a few things about how things work after that. But it was a real fun time, and just a real just these guys were just kids, man. They're 18-year-olds, and it was just a real fun podcast. I'll throw that up down below so you can listen to it. But anyway, yeah, Blackwell to the portal. I don't think if you are paying attention as a Wisconsin fan, you should be shocked by this. I think this was long rumored, especially in the context of the absolutely insane new NIL stuff going on right now as far as the amounts. I'm going to get into this. But I want to reconnect back to my central theme because as you are well aware, I'm very present on social media. I've already made a couple comments myself on this, but I'm a student of the game in the sense that I see how people react, not only to things I say, but to things Mr. Blackwell just said in his goodbye statement. One of which was he wants to win national titles. And I know a lot of people understand this is about money, and they see that, and they immediately get cynical about it, but let's take him at his word at that. It's kind of hard to blame the guy who he's played 4 NCAA tournament games in 3 years. But we'll get to that in a moment. But 10,000-foot view here. Yes, we're unsurprised. Yes, this is a ton of money. But I'm reacting to, and I want to be clear here. People can feel how they want to feel. I'm not arrogant enough to think that I can tell you how to feel on this, but I can suggest things. If you are on social media blasting this guy and you're mad at him, saying he has quote unquote no loyalty, things like I'm seeing that all over the place. And I understand as a fan the emotional reaction to this. That's the first thing that pops into my mind because we're operating under traditional, operating systems on what loyalty means, where if someone entered a transfer portal at any time in their career for basically the entire existence of our fandom in college sports, we probably had a decent argument that was not betrayal, but certainly render some of the things they said about how much they love Wisconsin and things like that, puts that in doubt. We are in a completely new science fiction, high budget era that has accelerated more quickly than we can keep up with it with our rational common sense. Though, I want to say, I don't have, nor does anyone have reliable numbers right now that we can absolutely bank on. But I do know enough about the way NIL has leap yeared in the past few months for basketball to know that John Blackwell is going to have multiple offers of several $1 million. We've seen reports of at least 4. I've seen reports of 5. We're hearing blue blood teams. Again, it's silly season. We're not sure how much stock we can put in any of this beyond the fact that he is going to be offered significantly more than Wisconsin could pay him and tons more than he was making this past season. I want to remind everyone, and this there is evidence of, John Blackwell was offered more money at least one, if not more than one, stops last year in return to Wisconsin. He wasn't saying, I'm amazing, I took less money to play for the Badgers, look at me. It was never in the context of that, but it came out that he had offers greater than Greg Gard had offered him last year and returned to the Badgers. Typically, turncoats, Benedict Arnolds, don't do things like that. This is a college student. I don't know if he's an NBA guy. I have my feelings on this. It's irrelevant to most of this discussion today. If you're asking me if I think John Blackwell is going to be in the league in 5 years, I'm going to tell you I don't think he is. I think he's a really, really nice basketball player. I think he has professional opportunities ahead of him to play basketball. I just this past season reinforced for me. I don't think he's an NBA guy. I'm sorry. So let's put this in terms that people can understand. To the extent we're able to, we all have to kind of use a little science fiction magic here. You're in your current job that you've been working in for 3+ years. And before you lecture me that it's college sports, not a job, grow up. So you're making $100,000 a year, which is more than most people make. Crazy. Another company comes and offers you $2 million a year, or $1 million a year, or $800,000 a year. The point is, it's several times what you're currently making. Most of you, if you're bright and you have families and kids and mortgages and things like that, and you want to have money you can put away for the future, and again, this is not a perfect analogy because this is an athlete, but it might even make more sense for someone whose skills are going to start deteriorating in 4 or 5 years, where you could be an accountant for 30 years, to say, hell yeah, I'm taking that money. You put some money in the bank, you can have that vacation to Monaco, Wisconsin, like you've always wanted. But I just feel it's a little bit of a situation where people are being hypocritical here, and they're saying John Blackwell needs to have loyalty and take $2 million less a year to stay in Madison, when I know what human nature is, and I know myself, and I know most of you, at least at a surface level as human beings, there's almost a 0% chance you wouldn't take a $2 million raise to the job we're in right now. Why does John Blackwell have to be holier than thou and say, no, I'll take less money, a lot less money to stay at Wisconsin because, damn it, I'm a Badger? That would be fantastic. And also, if I'm advising this guy, if I'm his parents or his agent, I'm going to have a hard time selling that to him if I care about him. So, no, I'm not happy he's leaving the Wisconsin Badgers. I said, again, hate the game, don't hate the player, and I mean that. And no one has to be a John Blackwell on his new team fan. I wouldn't cast any shade at someone for not rooting for this guy next year. But if you do, I get it. I would check the Louisville box scores, see how Hepburn did. Like the guy. I was happy for him. Hated not having him on the Badgers, just like I'll hate not having Blackwell on the Badgers. But I can find in my heart to hope he has success in life, because he seems like a great kid. And I don't think he became a bad kid overnight because he's going to take millions of dollars more for another team than Wisconsin could pay him. You got an issue with this, and I'm not sure it's even a fair criticism. Talk to McIntosh or the Wisconsin Badger boosters and ask why Wisconsin can't match an NIL offer for John Blackwell with the realities of 2026. I don't know. I'm not sure it's even money well spent. I mean, if that money's there, I'm going to make an argument that you can get 3 high-quality players, and this sounds like a little Moneyball-y. Sounds a little Milwaukee Brewers. Sounds like Billy Beane and the A's. But you can more than recreate John Blackwell with $3 million NIL dollars or $4 million or $5 million NIL dollars. You will have a better team spending that $5 million not on John Blackwell. And it's not a cut on John Blackwell. It's a commentary on how crazy that money is. He is a really good, for by all accounts, locker room guy. He is a 20-point-a-game scorer. He's very replaceable, is my point. Are you going to get a guy who's as good as he is? One guy? Yeah, probably not. But also, he ended his season last year in like the 15th percentile in defensive metrics. Sorry. You're going to find a guy who's going to play better defense than that. And Greg Gard, one of the things he noted after Wisconsin's lost to High Point in his kind of look back and anger kind of moment is, and he took the blame for this, he said, we weren't a good enough defensive team this year. There are systemic things that were his fault, and John Blackwell probably suffered from that. So this isn't all on Blackwell because he was coached. But my 10,000-foot view is I just have a really hard time being mad at him for leaving. I'd love to have him on the Badgers. So there's a little sentimental part of me that's sad about this. But if he's getting $4 or $5 million a year, God bless John Blackwell. Good for him. There's almost certainly more money he's going to get in the pros ever. So good, awesome. Imagine that's your kid. Hey, this accountant firm is going to pay me $4 or $5 million, Dad. No. you're going to stay at the one you interned with for 3 years and make $1 million. Like, of course, the dollar amounts are crazy, and you have to use your imagination here. But yeah, that's where I am. That's where I am, guys. I'm the sentimental part of me is sad he's leaving. The pragmatic part of me understands 100% why he's leaving, and the parent part of me says, "Damn, good for you. Good for him. I'm this guy is set for life, guys. If this is true, he's getting $4 or $5 million a year. He could not lift a finger the rest of his life, and he certainly will, because he's not the kind of guy who's going to sit around. But and you take that money and you have smart people around you. That's more money than anyone listening to this podcast right now who is not a professional athlete or a Wisconsin Badger who's getting on AL money. Just Tom, Dick, and Harry, who's working for the city of Madison or an average job somewhere. The $4 to $5 million is more than you make in 20 years, 30 years, maybe 40 years, your whole career potentially. Maybe we could take it down a notch, the dramatics about how John Blackwell is not being loyal. It's just a different world. It's a different game. This isn't 1996, guys. This isn't 2004, even 2017. It's a different world. And I know Greg Gard has a certain amount of money. Hopefully it's a little more than he had last year. Maybe it's a lot more. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on there. But I can promise you that he's not losing sleep over John Blackwell right now. I know he wanted him, and I'm sure there was a competitive offer that he put forward, but he was planning for this since the second that clock went 0-0 against High Point. He was expecting John Blackwell to leave. I just know this. And not because Greg Gard told it to me. It's because I have a 110 IQ. I know how this goes. It's probably higher, guys. Let's be honest. So that's where I am. I'd love to hear y'all's comments. And you know, when I'm sitting here saying, like, grow up and things like that, it's not saying, look, if you feel differently than me, you feel how you feel. I'm not going to tell you how to. I'm going to tell you how to feel. I'm going to tell you, if you disagree with the position that John Blackwell is doing the right thing here and you feel like he owed Wisconsin more money, I'm telling you, I believe that is objectively incorrect. But feel how you feel, you know. But don't give me a moral argument. I feel like, you know, the people who are giving these moral arguments are also like, yeah, man, we just got this new point guard from Australia. Hell yeah. You know, like, that guy had a team too. Everyone who transfers here has a team. Nick Boyd had a team. He played for San Diego State the season before he came here. I don't see a lot of hand-wringing about how he's a disloyal goofball. We embraced him. So have the same grace for John Blackwell. You know, and John, if on the 0.01% chance you're listening to this right now, we appreciate everything you gave the Badgers. Go be great. That's where I am right now. Love to hear what you think. And Scary Alvarez is out.